he's going to make one. And boy, we called the play for him, and boy, he buried it. And he was close on them. They were just rattling around, and out they came. And center, and then we had the guys that felt we should spread floor and just try our possession and see what happens. We didn't even have to make a pass, and I think Dylan goes straight to the basket for a layup, so we just stayed in it, and it was very successful. So the Tuesday game, Glenwood,
that would put you to sleep there.
Well, if you're a defensive guy, it's really a good game to watch, because I think we play pretty good defense, and so does Coach Blakeman, and it's two opposite defenses. One's a man-to-man, one's a zone. Whatever your belief is, whatever you sell your kids to do is basically what works. And I think both defenses work very well for each coach that's there. So.
And Glenwood, a very fundamental team, and the Railers get a lot of their points off turnovers, and Glenwood takes care of the basketball, so that eliminates some of Lincoln's scoring right there. And we struggle a little bit from the offensive side, but like you said, our defense is pretty solid.
I thought our defense, and the coaches said our defense warmed down last night's game.
Yeah.
And first half we didn't force a lot. I think we had one turnover for a layup. I think Seth Tungate had a steal for a layup, but that was about all we had. But boy, the second half, I think our pressure just got to them, and we got a lot of layups, and that was helped us out with our 16 out of 17, and so we were 16 out of 17, 8 of 9 from the line, and that's pretty good shooting there.
You look at those numbers, and 9 times out of 10, that's a victory. So I think Comnick made the comment last night that if you guys would have lost that game shooting 16-17, it was all on the coaches.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I've heard that if you score 35 points or less, then Farmer was in charge of the offense that night.
Yeah, it was Farmer, and I had the defense. Thursday night, I had the offense, so
that's the way that stuff works.
You better believe it, especially
now. Something just a little off topic, and it's just something I've noticed just from the last being on the road. Do you see different style of officiating from what we're used to, even in the Central State 8 and the Apollo, and then what you saw last night?
I think you see the Rock Island game. I thought was as well officiated as a game that I've had in a long, long time. They missed a couple, but I thought it was consistent, and I thought it was there was physical play, but yet it was controlled, and I thought they called a great game. I think where you get is you have different associations in different parts of the state, and as those groups meet and things, I think they kind of determine how they're going to call the games and so forth. And for the most part, when you go to Peoria, you better take your ball bat because they're not going to bring their whistle with you. But you know that going in, and as the state tournament approaches, it more associations open up and let the games become where they say the kids are going to decide the games. Well, it becomes a strength game, and that's concerns that we have is what kind of officiating are we going to get in the state tournament, because we're not a team that's going to overpower anybody. We're a finesse team that relies on our ball movement, our quickness, our fundamentals, and our guys take their shirts off. I tell them put them back on. I don't want to see it.
That'd be a nice calendar.
And then you look at what we played last night. The big kid in the middle last night, he was just strong, and he just rose up right, belly to belly, chest to chest, and he didn't even flinch getting the ball to the basket. And I think he was something like 7 out of 9.
Yeah,
and he was a nice player.
Yeah, he was.
And You know, but I think you go back to the associations and we get mostly Springfield officials, so we know how to play with that.
Right, and that was my concern last night. We got in a little bit of foul trouble first half, and we're on 6 deep.
I mean, that made us work on something else last night. So that's not all bad. It's not good for the kids. It has to set the bench because of it, but it also makes us adjust to different situations.
Smarter, like you said, situations. We talked a little bit last night at post game that a lot of our fouls were 20, 30 feet from the basket, and those are type of fouls that you just kind of, they're being aggressive, but just maybe a little over-aggressive at that point.
We talked about some things, and, with the kids, and I'm not picking on our kids, but last night, we started the second half. Will had 2 fouls, and I thought he was moving exceptionally well last night, and he's so quick, but he's riding the guy, belly, bumping him down the sideline. You got 2 fouls, guy. You got to back off of that guy. You got to play all position. You got to get around. You got to eliminate the contact for 4 or 5 minutes to just get through the game, get back to where now I can have I got 3 fouls to get aggressive. So
that's a good, I guess, coaching point or learning.
That's a learning for all of them, and Will did it, but I hope the others were listening as well.
Right.
And as a coach, that's one of my pet peeves is when I'm talking to one kid and this guy over here is not listening, and I just told this guy, and I got to walk over here and tell this guy. I got to do it twice.
That's never changed, has it?
Yeah.
That's on and off the court. You got to tell me 3 times.
Yeah, well, I still don't go in.
It's not working. Maybe you should write that stuff down.
I don't reread.
Short sentences.
Can you draw pictures?
Evidently you can embroidery. That's what I heard.
Right, we're getting there.
Anyway, I want to back up to the Rock Island game because that was a tough game. I didn't see any of it, but we were talking earlier before you got here. Did they have a big man in the middle? Or no?
They had a big man. He didn't hurt us. They had about a 6'6" kid on the perimeter that I think he led them in scoring, but he's led them all year. He got inside, and we didn't defend the last second shot very well. We've watched it on tape on what we have to do, how we should have, and again, a teaching point that our kids are watching and should be able to see. And that not only is a film a teaching point for the kids, it's a teaching point for the coaches as well. I know Coach Greg spends a lot of time on the film, and he breaks it down. Well, we get it broke down from the program that we use, but he views it and goes through it and looks at it and so forth, and it's really big. We spend a lot of time on film.
You can absolutely, from the film, you can tell if a guy can't go with his left hand, and you're going to push him all day.
Exactly. You can do a lot of things with it, and the breakdown it gives you exactly where the kids individually, where they shoot it from on the floor, where's their best shooting area, and not only for our kids, but we can pick that up on a scouting report to say, top of the key, this kid you can't let shoot there. I mean, he's 9 out of 10, and over here in the left-hand corner, he's 0 for 10. Just little things like that you pick up on.
Well, we're moving out of January and into February, which leads to March. With this basketball team, what, if anything, what kind of scares you the most about as you reach the tournament? Is it the big man inside? It's a
big man, and how the thing that scares me right now is our closest game has been 9 points in our wins. The 18 wins that we have, the closest game was 9 points, and that was Belleville East. The 2 games that we were overtime that we lost, get into a real physical type game and you get into overtime, and the rebounding becomes a big issue on whether you can get a big stop. And a big stop is basically forcing a team to take a bad shot and being able to get the rebound. And that's a concern that we have, and our kids playing under pressure. Can our kids play under pressure when the game's tied and 2-point lead? How are we going to handle that? Those are issues that, and it's just simply because it's a good group of kids. I'm not going to tell them to make a game close. So, those are issues, and then you get into March. The pairings will be done, I think they said February 19th, but right now we're trying to figure out where we're going to be. We're in a pocket of 9 teams. It's called sub-regional. You got Danville, you got Centennial, Central out of Champaign, Urbana, Rantoul, Muhammad Seymour, Bloomington, Morton, and Lincoln. Well, we thought all along we were going to Bloomington, but if Bloomington's a 2 seed, the 2 seed will stay home, and we'll have to go to Rantoul. So right now it's just kind of, and I would think that we're 18-2. Everyone else is about 500. So
both losses in overtime.
And both losses in overtime. So I would think we'd have a good shot at the 1 seed, but getting that, who's going to get the 2 seed? That's important. The second thing is do you want to play Bloomington on their home floor if you have to go to Bloomington? Because that's probably what would happen. And we play at Bloomington a week before in the regular season. So beating Bloomington 2 times in 10 days is not an easy chore as well. So, it's all starting to
here we go.
Get wound up on trying to figure out what's going to happen, who we need to really spend time on watching and everything.
Coach, a tough week.
It's going to be the fun time of the year.
It is a fun time. It really is. And again, it just seems, and we talk about it every year, it just seems like we were starting the season in our round-robin tournament, and here we are talking about postseason play already. And, kids just don't understand, and I know I didn't when I was growing up, and you too. About how time just goes by. You think the season's really, really long. It's over in a blink out of the eye.
Yeah, that's exactly right. A few months ago, you were laying around on a beach in Florida.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm ready to go back.
Coach, you got a day off today. Kids well-deserved day off, get some rest. But we got some games coming up. We got a lot of home cooking coming up. Friday, January 31st, got Muhammad Seymour, so we're getting back in the Apollo Conference play. And then Saturday, February 1st, Nokomis comes to town, and hopefully a lot of familiar faces return as Coach Wallace and the gang. Who else, Joe?
Coach Flowers.
Coach Flowers. And then rumor has it a lot of former players may be coming back as well. So I think next Saturday we have something planned for the cheap seats. So we're looking forward to that.
Well, I know. I think Kevin Seitzer's coming back. Dan Duff's coming back for sure. Yep. And those are the only 2 that I've heard. But again, it's social media. It hasn't been a personal invite or anything. We've just laid it out there on the social media, and we'd like to have everyone come out. It should be a fun night, a good visit, see some old faces, and we're going to introduce the 1980 team that got 4th place in the state, and anyone else that played for Coach Wallace, Coach Flowers. We're going to bring them out on the floor as well to recognize them. So that'll be done in between the varsity and the sophomore game, and as well as there's so many ties to the game. Coach Wallace being here, Coach Flowers being here. Myself and Coach Kimbrough playing for Coach Wallace at Nokomis and everything. There's just a lot of ties to the game, and it's it's really a game that was put together for both Steve and I, being close friends and growing up as our childhood, friends in Fillmore. And John Flowers, I don't know if anybody knows that, but John Flowers was right with us. He's a Fillmore guy, and I'm a year older than both of them. Boy, we had some fun days, boy, growing up in a little bitty town of Fillmore.
Fillmore, that's good stuff.
Fillmore.
I talked to Coach Flowers the other day. He's all excited and wants to see some people. So we're going to try to get something set up, with the sports show next week.
Are you in charge of it?
Yep. Oh, maybe go a little longer, hang around, get some guys out there.
Yeah, I won't be an important part next weekend, so I just let you guys have them.
Well, you're always an important part. We need you out there. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, you just ate up a half hour here, so that's very important.
There you go. Look at you.
Well, Coach,
that picture's pretty good of Coach Flowers, and I really want to emphasize that we'll have a place where people come in that they can sign up, and especially the team, the 1980 team, and we're not picking anybody, but I think it's a special team that finished 4th in the state, and that's been 40 years ago this season. Wow. So that was in 1980. This is 2020, and hopefully 40 years later, we'll have the fortunes to try to play for a state championship later in March. But the last Thursday was a special night for me to honor Coach Brown at Washington, and this here one coming up. So we've had a couple big nights that has not all been about basketball, and you got to know and understand that athletics does that. It makes opportunities like that for you to be able to get together,
everybody get together,
social, and
everybody tells a story that somebody else forgot.
Yeah, well, and you lie a lot too. I can't imagine how big your lies will be.
They're going to be big.
So he's been around for all of them.
And after the game, both Nokomis and Lincoln, fans will have a reception in the cafeteria. I think we're having some Italian beef. It won't be a lot, but it'll be something for somebody to come in, sit down, and visit with hopefully a lot of the people will stick around. And we're hoping that that's a big night. Kind of honor those guys that are really an important part of Lincoln High School.
It'll be fun.
It will, absolutely. Well, Coach, we'll let you get back to your day off. And
we got practice right now.
Oh, what? Practice. All right, well, I guess go practice. I don't know what you can work on.
We got to work on our shooting. We're shooting this morning. We're getting...
well, you were 16 or 17 last night. I mean, I think that's pretty good.
Well, don't tell them. You can't let them start thinking they're good. You just can't do that.
Yep, that's
can't get replacement.
Right. All right, Coach.
They missed one.
Well, all right. It's not perfect.
That's 17 out of 17.
And the first half wasn't all that great. So, all right. We'll put that on them. All right, Coach. Thanks for coming in. And we look forward to talking to you next Saturday. Well, I guess next Friday as the regulars are back home. Mahomet Seymour Bulldogs come to town. 5 home games in a row. And
then we go on the road.
Then we go on the road for 5. So, I guess,
6, because we had one move in there.
The Charleston game's already in there, so whoever keeps track of this, good job.
Nice work.
All right.
He's taking credit.
Good work, Coach. All right, thanks for coming in, and we'll see you next Friday after the Mahomet Seymour game.
Okay. If you're not doing anything next week, next Saturday night will be a big night, and I would think some of those people would even be around Friday night if they're coming and they're traveling. We do have both games, and I'm sure some of them will end up in the gym for Friday night's game as well.
Absolutely.
All right, looking forward to that. All right, let's take a commercial break. We come back, we'll have Jason Petropoulos on with us with Prestige Paranormal. You're looking forward to it.
Very interesting.
Yes, so stay tuned. You're in the cheap seats on 96.3 FM.
Jake's Furnishings in Lincoln has outrageous deals going on now that will allow you to transform every room in your home with top quality furniture like Ashley brand and the full line of Bemco mattresses. Whether it's outfitting your living room, family room, dining room, or breakfast nook, Jake's Furnishings in Lincoln will save you more than the big box store and will leave you money to select the best Bemco mattresses, which are also on sale in all sizes now at Jake's. And you'll also love the full line of gorgeous bedroom outfits, which just arrived and are priced to sell in many styles: contemporary, modern, classic, and traditional, just to name a few. For more details and to ask about free financing, stop by the Jake's Furnishing showroom located at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Check out their all-new website at jakesfurnishings.com, phone 735-1212, and become a fan on Facebook. Jake's Furnishings. Make it your own.
This is attorney Jim Grimaldi. Have you been arrested for DUI? A DUI is a serious offense with potentially severe consequences, which may include jail time, high fines, lengthy periods of probation, even suspension or revocation of your driver's license. The laws regarding DUI are very complex and continually changing every day. You need an attorney with knowledge and experience in handling DUI cases, whether or not this is your first offense. I have vast experience in the area of DUI law. As a former chief DUI prosecutor for Sangamon County, I prosecuted thousands of DUIs and was exposed to every possible defense strategy. Call me and let me put my experience to work for you.
Call Grimaldi Law Office now at 217-651-8089. That's 217-651-8089, or visit GrimaldiLawOffice.com. Newly remodeled and completely updated, the Christian Village is Lincoln's only faith-based retirement community and is the area's leader for independent, assisted, and skilled senior living and healthcare services. The Christian Village at 1507 7th Street offers a wide array of living options for older adults, such as independent living, rehabilitation, skilled nursing, and memory care. For private consultation and tour of the campus, please phone 217-732-2189. The Christian Village in Lincoln, community of compassion.
Come join the Grau family. It's Grau right now.
Hello, Lincoln and Logan County. This is Chris Grau, Grau Chevrolet Buick Cadillac. Do you have a teacher that has made a difference in your life, the life of one of your children, or someone else you know? We all have them in our lives, that special teacher that took an interest in you or your child to make a difference in their education.
Okay, stand by. We're about 20 seconds.
Consultation for your business meetings and events. Call Hampton Inn Hotel at 217-732-6729. That's 217-732-6729. 24 hours a day. And go online to lincoln.hamptoninn.com. Just off Interstate 55 at exit 126 at the Lincoln Hampton Inn. They love having you there.
I was out yesterday.
On there was Jason Petropoulos with Prestige Paranormal.
Good morning, Jason.
Thanks for coming on. I'm not really sure where you start. I guess let's start with
How you got into paranormal investigation? I mean, where did it start? Is it something that you enjoyed as a little, or how did it go about? I mean, just kind of something that's not weird, but just kind of off the wall, just to get into that type of field.
Well, it is definitely different. Where it started was we were young, we owned a motel, and it had a lot of activity in it. And it's like me and my two other sisters would experience all this stuff, and we tell our mother and our stepdad, but they wouldn't believe us. So one night we were in the living room and we fell asleep, and the TV popped on. So we get up, we shut it off, it pops back on again, like almost immediately. So we yell for her mother, and she gets up and she thinks that we're doing it. So we tell her it's not us. So she shuts it off, goes back down. About 20 minutes later, comes back on. We yell again, she comes back in. Shuts it off and unplugs it. So literally not even 10 seconds after that, it comes back on. And we're telling her, see, we're not lying to you. It's coming back on. And so at that point, she really couldn't explain that it was us just messing around or making it up. And from that point there, it was like this place just went completely nuts. We'd have all the time, our stuff would be moved, the kitchen table actually slid across the floor, and from that point there, it kind of impacted me. And when I was growing up, I always had an interest in like old houses and everything, and just like exploring. And so I decided, why don't we try to see if, ghosts are real, being the experiences we had, because definitely we couldn't explain any of that. So, pretty much from that point that I decided that I wanted to get into this, and probably around the age of 18 is when I joined my first paranormal group, which was the Springfield Ghost Society at Springfield. And I was in that for about a year, and then me and another guy decided to go out on our own. And, it was like fascinating to me. I know it's kind of crazy to a lot of people who, don't believe or don't get it. And, it's a completely different experience when you see something that you can't explain. But, and also besides that, I got into this because I've seen people who've had stuff going on, but they didn't know where to turn. They didn't know, they didn't want to look crazy to other people. They didn't know if they could say anything. So I wanted to help people as well.
So this has really kind of grown over the past several years, where now there's TV shows, TV series about this that you can watch. And tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that you do, or how would you start if somebody contacted you? What would the process be if they think that they have something haunted or something going on? What would the process be?
Okay, the first initial step is basically the meeting. I would set up a time to meet with them at their home. I would bring just a recorder and some paper, and I would walk around the house by myself first, and then I would sit down with them, and I would start my recording and just kind of go over everything that they're experiencing, and from that point there, it's probably, I'd stay there for probably about an hour, and then after that, from that point there, I would set up a time to actually investigate the house to where, if they're claiming that these certain things are happening, I want to try to capture that to validate, what they're saying. And as you're talking about for TV shows, that actually the ghost hunters, Brian Murray and Rachel, actually, I was in a group with them just a year ago before they actually made Ghost Hunters. So
that's on A&E?
Yes, and that's on A&E, and that's actually, I'm very happy for both of them to be able to make it to that next level, because it's so hard to try to get to that point to where you can actually do it and travel the entire world, investigating these just cool places.
Now, you just moved to Atlanta recently, and you put out an ad, saying, what you're doing. You've already had some contacts. But this isn't a cheap business to get in. I mean, there's several different types of equipment. Can you tell us what kind of equipment that you have and what it does, for that particular investigation?
Absolutely. I have digital voice recorders. I have about 5 of them, and those are mainly for picking up EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon. Basically, what we can't hear with our physical ear, these will pick up. And I have EMF detectors, they picks up electromagnetic fields, basically energy in the air. We speculate that, when these pick up, they actually light up red when it detects energy around you. I have 4 night vision cameras.
Joe has a couple of those too, but he doesn't use them for that.
No.
Hey, now.
I just see if you're still with us.
I got questions.
Yeah, and I have a thermal camera, which picks up hot and cold spots. And you're absolutely right, Scott. It's definitely not cheap. I've got over $2,000 worth of equipment, and it just seems they keep coming out with better stuff, every year. And it just seems like there's always something else that you need.
Some new toy that you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To make things a little easier. I ordered an Ovilus, which is, it plays through radio frequencies, and spirits can actually speak through this. And that was almost $500 just for that.
Now, speaking of voices, you have some on your phone that you've let me listen to, and I tell you what, it's just kind of bone chilling, Joe, to hear. It makes the back of the hair on the back of your neck stand up, just because, like you said, if you walk into a place, just the physical hearing that you can't hear, but it's what the voice recorders pick up. And now you go back, you'll take that with you, and then you'll go home and you'll sit for hours and analyze that, just looking for that small, faint, sound that you can magnify and, kind of process it to where it's a little more clear. And I've been to a couple of houses with him that we worked on, and man.
Well, can you tell us, maybe one of the strangest things you've had go on, or just an example of what you found?
One of the probably strangest things I ever had happen, we were actually in Divernon at a house, and it was vacant at the time. The lady passed away, and her niece she told us she wanted us to check it out because she remembers growing up as a kid, just all kinds of things happening. And we'd actually got there probably about 6:30. We had everything set up by about 7:30. We start walking around investigating. I'm at the top of the steps, and one of my investigators were behind me, and all of a sudden I feel a shove in my back. And I mean, it was hard enough to where it shoved me down a couple of the steps. And so I turned around. I thought it was my brother, because being funny, he would do that. I'm like, yeah, absolutely he would. And I turned around, he was like 10 foot behind me. And even though it didn't seem logical, I said, did you push me? And he's like, not if my arms are 12 foot long. He's like, no, I didn't push you. But I felt the hands on my back. And that was just kind of the start of the evening. So later on that evening, there was one particular room that we had a camera set in, and we're watching on the monitors, and all of a sudden this camera just starts turning to the right and then drops. And so one of my tech guy who I have watching the equipment as we're doing this, he went in there, picked it back up and set it up. And then this is going to be so hard to believe, but we all heard this. It was, I can't explain how evil and creepy this voice was, but it told us to get out now. And it took me a second to sit there and kind of take all this in. Did we all just hear this? And at that point, I said, okay, I'm packing up, and I left. That's one thing very important. You have to take these warnings. Don't take these warnings for granted, because these things can hurt you. I've been pushed. I've been scratched. I physically have been hit in the face one time, and it made me mad at first before I could even collect my thoughts and realize that whatever hit me, I cannot see. And
that's a tough fight.
It is. It's a very tough fight, because there's not much I can do to it, but it can do a lot to me. And I take these as warnings, and that when this stuff happens, you need to get out of there and go, as fast as you can. Do not stick around and take this stuff for granted. And that's why I like, for people, I had a lady contact me. She's got 2 young kids, and they're having issues, she says, and the kids are being affected by it, and kids are a very big deal to me. And that's why I want to get in there as soon as I can to find out what is going on and what we can do to make this either go away or for her to be able to take her house back over. Because one thing that this stuff feeds off of, and they're not all bad, one of the biggest misconceptions is, they're all evil. They're not all evil. If you were good in life, you're going to be good in death. If you were a nasty, angry person in life, that's how you're going to portray in death. And once in a while, we come across these negative entities like this, and they are willing to do whatever to scare you, to harm you, and they feed off this. Your fear fuels them. But if you can stand up and take charge and take back control, then they have nothing over you. And, that's hard to explain to a lot of people, because, it all stems back to, well, this guy's crazy. I don't believe this. There's a logical explanation for everything. Mm-hmm. Orbs, for me, I'm not a seller on them. An orb is nothing I can explain or show somebody and prove to them that is a ghost or a spirit. Do you know what an orb is?
Yes.
Okay.
I know what an orb is.
An orb is, it's a ball of light. It's a ball of energy. And a lot of people speculate that these are spirits. You can capture them with cameras a lot. The misconception comes in where bugs reflect light, which can look like an orb. Dust reflects light, could come off an orb. 95% of all orbs can be explained. It's the 5% that can't. And I see it all the time where people will post these little balls of light and say, they're ghosts, which they're not. It can be explained. And to me, I'm going for the real proof. I want something that I can show somebody, the biggest skeptic, and he's scratching his head. That's what I go after. And that for me is, I don't know. It is just such a passion for me.
So now, you're really starting to dive into this hard. I know you took a little bit of a break with other job opportunities and stuff like that. So right now you're getting right back into it, and you're looking for people to fill a crew. How would they contact you, and what are you looking for, and what would that pre-interview process be?
All right, they can contact me on my Facebook. I have 2 Facebooks. I have one under Jason Petropoulos, and you can instant message me, or I have one at Prestige Paranormal, and you can IM me as well. What I'm looking for is somebody who's going to come in with an open mind, who's not going to jump to conclusions. And I'm going to explain that a little bit is even when I first started this, I jumped to conclusions a lot. I thought a lot more stuff, like things I would see were ghosts automatically, and that's what I mean by jumping to conclusions. I want somebody who's going to be skeptical in a sense, to where you're willing to go as far as it takes to get these answers. I need people who are professional.
Probably reliable.
Reliable is the big thing.
Joe,
you're out. I'll give you guys the option. I'd love to invite you guys one time.
Like a little girl.
We should go sometime.
All right. And you are wanting to get YouTube involved, for that video experience, which that's just going to make your, I guess, what would you call it, business or your investigations more out there, and YouTube's a good way to reach people that, go online and search paranormal activity. Well, here comes some of your stuff. But like you said, it's got to be legit. You can't just put stuff out there because you want to believe it. You got to put it out there because it's, the truth, and it's hard evidence. And
absolutely.
Like you said, there's a lot of people out there just trying to put stuff out there so people will be like, oh yeah, hey, that's
that. Exactly.
But that's pretty cool. And Joe, anything else? I know.
No, they just became. I don't know anything about it except for the fact that Ghostbusters made it all popular, and they're gonna pull out the spirits and they're gonna put them in a box and take off. And, it was a great show.
It was.
So when you're talking about you come across something like that at home, are you taking that next step, or is there one as to like you're going to remove this from a home or something like that?
There have been times where I've had to search and contact other help because I could not help them no more. It was things beyond me that I was capable of doing. At one investigation, I did have to contact a demonologist, and at that point, I met with them one time, and then he took it over from there. It was just, it was bad. What was there was not good. The family ended up leaving, and the people who owned the house, it was like the 10th family in 2 years that lived in this house. Yeah, it was.
And every one of them had experience.
Absolutely. Wow. And almost immediately, this stuff has happened. And one more thing I wanted to touch on really quick is most like these residential investigations I go to, a lot of this can be explained, as to a faulty heater, as to, certain noises your house will make or whatnot. And it's very comforting for the homeowners, for us to tell them that. So they know, that they don't have anything going on.
We're all scared by something.
Absolutely.
What was that?
Put a mouse on the wall or, something that went on that you're thinking, oh, hey, what's that?
Groundhog in the ground.
Yeah. Scary moment. Luckily, I had those exterminators come in.
Yeah, no doubt. So what do you have planned in the near future? Do you have any investigations coming up?
I do. I cannot disclose the location right now, but I do have a couple lined up within the next month. I have a few residentials that I have to go do.
Discreetly, right? With the truck in front that says what you're doing, because everyone's going to go, hey, that place is haunted.
Exactly. Everything is 100% confidential with me. I do not disclose any information, any evidence, or anything without the homeowner's permission. I have a waiver I have typed up, and I sign it as well as them, just for their privacy, because like I said, people who don't believe in this, they seem to, look at you as you're crazy when you even talk about it, and that's why I want to get that known out there and known that I'm 100% confidential. I will not disclose.
And you're not crazy.
Absolutely. Well, I could say that. I'm a little crazy.
You gotta be a little crazy.
You gotta be a little crazy to do this, I'm telling you.
Well, I think we're going with you sometime.
Well, that would be great.
Well, we'll talk off air here when we're done about something that we've been trying to do, and we need to talk to you about it, Joe.
Okay.
Doesn't sound good. I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
If anybody out there listening, if you experience anything that you can't explain in your, house, something happening, get a hold of Jason. Maybe he can come and, put you at ease where it's just a squirrel in the attic or.
We're going to have a link up on the Facebook site.
We'll put something. It'll be out there on our YouTube page, so we'll have a link to all that. But get a hold of Jason, and maybe he can come and put you at ease and see what's going on. Well, Joe, we got about 2 minutes left. A big game today in Ann Arbor as Illinois travels to Michigan today. A big game for the Fighting Illini. They are at the top of the Big Ten right now.
This is fun to watch.
Fun to watch. Moved up to number 21. If they get a big win today, I can see them moving up that ladder just a little bit. But first things first, it is the Big Ten, and it's some tough games. So they got to take care of some business, and it's in their hands now. So big game for them today. We got the Blackburn Beavers over in Eureka today, so we're going to make the road trip up there. As the boys got a game, they're right in the middle of the pack. If they can win today, it's going to put them in the top 4. So
big turnout in college this weekend too.
I basketball. I guess maybe they're playing in that.
I think Ozark basketball is ranked number 1. I think in the country, but I could be wrong.
Well,
don't go down that.
We should have grabbed them.
Yeah, they wouldn't have anything to say. Not like this.
Oh no, I mean,
I say this is pretty interesting.
It is. It's even more interesting if you're. We've worked on some houses this past fall and summer, and he had me spooked out. Where I wasn't going to go back in the house by myself. Yeah,
that's because
they're ready to work. When you're over there working, you're constantly doing this. What was that noise? What was that?
So, it's legit stuff.
Being afraid of work helps that too.
Hey, I'm never afraid of work, Joe. I mean, look, you're all dressed up or something.
Next level, my friend. Hey, and we want to throw a thank you out there to Kevin Baker, dropped off gifts.
Is that honey?
That's some honey dropped off.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That is not.
I'll take one.
Thank you, Kevin. We'll let you know about this stuff out
Be
here.
one of 3 things.
Honey, urine.
I have not smelled it yet,
or outsiders.
so I do not know.
Which one it is? But it looks nice.
It does. I mean,
Very well presented.
very filtered.
Yes, that's clear.
All right, that's going to do it today. Next week we are at Haji's
Yeah, I think we're going out. We'll have more for you on the
So Lincoln makes this
Official yet?
Oh, yes, it's official. Yes. We got Lincoln makes this. Big check on about this week on the radio station. We got maybe
Kevin Seitzer, the head coach for the Atlanta Braves, going to be on.
Yep.
Lauren Walsh, John Flowers.
I got confirmation from Tony.
He'll hook us up with a job with the Braves?
Probably not.
No, probably not.
Oh no, my last thing is I got to wish my
My
dad
dad got his birthday tomorrow, 88 years old.
Jim, happy birthday. What are you going to do for Jim on his birthday?
So,
We're rolling along. Probably a little something. Just doing good.
doing all right.
Good.
Lincoln College Day, watching basketball all day.
Doing some roofing at your house today?
Once he gets his summer moving stuff out, he's going to go to work if he's got time.
Get to work, buddy. All right, that's going to do it for us today. I want to thank the Hampton Inn for having us. As always, we come to
Not about the other guy's got a birthday tomorrow. That's Nick Broussard.
Happy birthday, Nicky.
All right.
Nice job.
Prime rib.
And Eddie Van Halen, if he's listening.
He might.
You never know.
Yeah. Thank the Hampton Inn for the waffles and the hospitality. It's been a good show. Thanks, Jason, for coming in. Thank you. And, maybe we'll get you on down the road. Maybe we can do a live show from a haunted house or something.
Yeah, that would be
cool.
great.
All right. We'll see you next week from where, Joe?
We'll be out at the convention center.
All right. That's it for us today. Thanks for tuning in.
Good day. Good talk to Appalachia, but I didn't know if you didn't catch it, you were going to get hurt.
WLCN 96.3 and WLCNonline.com is brought to you by Jake's Furnishings, 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Furnish your home for less at Jake's. The Grimaldi Law Office, Logan County's only law firm dedicated exclusively to the practice of criminal law. Phone 651-8089. The Christian Village, 1507 7th Street in Lincoln, a community of compassion. Phone 732-2189. Eaton Corporation, America's choice for top quality, high-performance electrical equipment for over 50 years. Lincoln College, providing students the best educational experience since 1865. Go online to lincolncollege.edu for more details. St. Claris Manor, their team's dedication is what makes them special. Phone 735-1507. Community Action Partnership of Central Illinois. We're here to help. In Lincoln, call 732-2159. Schneider Chiropractic, 523 North Elm in Lincoln. For the best in chiropractic care and maintenance, call Dr. Alyssa Schneider today, 217-732-2140. Joe Ryan, Country Financial. For all your insurance needs, see Joe Ryan in downtown Lincoln or call 217-735-4385. The Hampton Inn in Lincoln. Call 217-732-6729. At the Lincoln Hampton Inn, we love having you here. Lincoln Printers in downtown Lincoln. For all your printing needs, including vinyl graphics and banners. Phone 217-732-3121. Lincoln Printers since 1970. Grau Incorporated on North Kickapoo Street in Lincoln. Logan County Chevrolet, Buick and Cadillac dealer since 1953. Phone 735-4444. And by Four Corners Lube for the best full-service oil changes, transmission, and radiator flushes, brake service, and lawn care needs. Stop by Four Corners Lube at 1101 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln.
Yes.